So today I'm going to show you how to replace the battery in this beard trimmer. What you may not realize is it does have a battery. When you plug it in to the wall to charge it, you're charging the battery, and let's say after several years of doing this, you plug it in to the wall, leave it there for several hours or overnight to charge it up, and then you go to unplug it and use it, and it lasts for a few moments or hardly anything happens. It's just because the battery on the inside has gone bad. So I'm going to show you how to replace that today. You don't have to throw this away. It is a pretty easy fix. You're going to open up your beard trimmer along this line. Now, I guess first let's back up. Let's remove the head here. I'll just make it a little easier to work with here. Okay. I'm going to take off the back here. It pops open pretty easily. You could use a slotted screwdriver for this. I happen to have this little iPhone opening tool, and let's see, there we go. And look at that, there is our battery. So this is a nickel cadmium battery, 600 milliamp hours, and we're gonna take this out and put a new one in. Let's see here. Okay, so we've got our black wire here going to the negative side of our battery, and this black wire is just soldered to this little tab that is tap welded onto there. If you don't have a tap welder, you can scratch the terminal of your battery up with sandpaper or something sharp carefully. Don't puncture the battery, and just rough up the surface enough to solder a tab on, or directly solder the wire to the terminal there. All right, now let's get our soldering iron heated up. I do have a tap welding machine, so I'm going to turn that on. Okay, you'll hear that humming in the background. I hope it's not too loud. Our soldering iron's heating up here. This is my workstation. It's going to heat up to 650 degrees. This is the Sunstone. Let's say the Sunstone 5000, but I'm not sure what it is actually. It's a Sunstone product. It's a great product. This is where my power is made. This is where my welds are made. Powered by air compressor and a pedal. It's beeping at me because it's not powered on to weld at the moment. Alright, so we are just going to undo these two welds here. Sorry, these two soldering welds. Heat up this solder until it falls off here. I'm going to clean up my iron tip. I've noticed when I'm soldering that sometimes when I'm dealing with something that is made by a bigger company, the welds are harder to break. I'm wondering if they use a different type of solder than I use. Not break, melt. This one I think is melting. It's just that the wire is going through the tab, and so it's just not coming off before it can pop out of the hole in the tab. The solder rehardens. So we're just gonna pull this little guy off carefully. Okay. I'll deal with that in a moment. I'm gonna pull this little guy off as well. Just give it a little twist there and it pops right off. Okay. Alright, here's our old battery. Does have a little pad on here, but I'm not gonna worry about taking that off and putting on the new one. This battery is, looks like it has a tip there, but you'll notice it's pretty flat actually. Let me get the new battery here. So this would be your standard battery that has a tip on it. This is what we call a consumer tip, where this is a normal end of a battery that you'd put in something that took a AA, versus something that is a flat top. See the difference there? And this is what I'll be putting in today. This old one is 600 milliamp hours. This is a 1000. Just gonna check the voltage in my batteries before I go through the trouble of installing it. Our voltmeter here. I don't expect our old battery to have much, but we'll just see what it's got, because I know it was charged before it was brought into me. Looks like it has nothing. So it's a dead battery. Alright, now this is 1.2 volts, so this should have some reading. There we go. This is reading at 1.01 volts. And the reason is because this is NiCad. It's a little bit of an older cell. I don't usually use older cells for a customer, but this is a quick fix for a family member, and they have expressed that they don't need the best. So this is a discounted battery here. I believe so. So before I get called to do anything else, all right, let's get a move on here. So first things first. I'm gonna tap our tabs onto here. Lower my sunstone right here. And just enough space to get the tabs under it. It's easier to be accurate that way. Safety glasses are highly recommended for this operation. You occasionally get some sparks flying, even when you do everything right. There's one. I'll try to get two on here. Excellent. Alright. Got one on the other side. One, two. Excelente. We don't need them to be quite as small, so we will trim these up. Alright. Now back to our little workstation over here. I'm sorry this is taking so long to show you. It's really not that difficult of a fix here. So we'll remember that our red came off the positive side of our battery, and that's the one that always has the narrow end, or the bump if it were a normal battery. And then negative came off the flat, smaller end. Alright, so we do still need to clean up these wires. I am going to snip this and re-strip the wire, rather than wrestling this tab off of the wire. Just for the sake of time, if I were not videoing, I'd probably take the time to get the tab off, simply because that I'm not losing any wire. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. Let me adjust this. Okay. Let's take a little more off here. There we go. The black one we probably have enough exposed to solder. So we're gonna go for it. So solder over here. of solder on here. If you're doing this, it's easier to get the solder to melt to your tab by keeping the tab raised off of the battery. Otherwise, the heat transfer is inefficient, and you're trying to heat up the whole battery, or a good bit of it, in order to get the tab hot enough. The tab wants to keep transferring the heat to the battery, so if you have the tab off of the battery, the heat transfer is more efficient, and it doesn't keep transferring into the cell. It sits on the tab there. Okay, so I got that side. Let's take care of our other side here. Okay. Our battery over. This is our negative side. So we're going to go to the black wire here. The black wire, it's hard to see, but it's right here. So we're going to heat up the solder and the wire end at the same time. That way they become ready to join. Come on, little guy. I know you're on camera. There's extra pressure. You got it. All right, we're on. We are not on. Okay. I do like to test my soldering joints here. Let me get some flux. Some flux here. Burn off any extra mess here. Okay, try this again. Thank you for bearing with me. Let's see if we got that. Yep, that one feels nice and strong. So, let's move on to the red. It's a little bit of a tighter angle here. See what we can do to show you. Okay, I'm gonna try to line it up so they're on each other. And I'll bring my soldering iron in. So I'm running down the tab here. I'm not convinced that's... Yeah, that's on. Okay, great. So we're gonna carefully put this back in without breaking our welds. It's got a little place it nestles down in here. Okay, let's see if maybe we can test this. Hey, look at that. Okay, it doesn't have any juice because it's not charged up, so let's see what we got here. Let's put this back together, and then we will put it on charge. These little loops just bite back onto hooks on the bottom half. Okay, that is together. All right, so the battery is in, but it doesn't have any charge. So now we're gonna hook this up. I have the plug here. We'll charge it up. Let's see what we got. That is how you replace a battery in a hair trimmer, or at least this style. This is a Remington. And I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it wasn't too drawn out for you.